So can I post Annie? Yay.
Annie. All right, so we're going to be, we'll wait for a few more people to jump on and see the difference.
So Casey, can I post your Zoom link on my page too?
Absolutely. And I'll post that on mine as well. Hey, Tammy girl. You look so beautiful, Tammy. Hey, Jody, my girl. Oh, some of my favorite people. Michelle's on. Oh my God, thank you guys so much. So the technical difficulty was that Facebook is no longer allowing us to go live with somebody in split screen. So that was a fun test. I'm glad that I tested it. Sorry for the delay a little bit. Jess! Oh, hey, gorgeous! Hey! All right, so we are going to wait just a few minutes to hop on, but in the chat, if any of you have any negative emotions or fears that you want to reframe, Michelle, girl, you look so fancy. If any of you guys want to post in there any fears or negative emotions that you've been going through during this time, we can totally get to those in a little bit. This is my beautiful friend, Megan Wilson. For those of you who don't know Megan yet, you are in for such a treat. Megan and I actually while we're waiting for people to go to get on, Megan and I met when we were going to be on a game show together. So that's fun.
Is Monica doing an unbook too?
Can everybody else mute? Would that be cool? Anybody who's not speaking? I don't know how to mute dolls. I know that I'm the admin, but I'm new to this, so I hope you guys can help me out.
Scroll down to the left corner.
Yeah, left corner.
Bottom, you'll see mute pop up if you hover down into the left corner, bottom.
And I can, so I see mute for me, but I don't
What's up, Shoshana?
The up arrow, if you click on that little up arrow next to it, it'll say mute. You can do mute all.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, wait a minute. Just hit, you should have the function to say mute all participants.
I don't know, girl. On mine, it just says mute myself. It's right. That's cool. So Megan and I met while we were going to get ready to shoot a game show together. And one of our mutual friends invited us both on the game show. And it was a magical experience. It brought us together. And she is one of my like-minded, amazing soul sisters. We instantly bonded and we have so much in common. So we thought, what a better way to come together on a live broadcast and help everybody kind of reframe what's been going on in their lives. Megan was a showgirl for 10 years, and then she transitioned into a space where she really wanted to give back to the amazing women in her life, and she started a coaching practice. And she is also the founder of Activate Your Anthem, which is the cool green bushes behind her, AYA, where she helps you reframe the contrast statement, so the negative feelings and emotions you've been having into your life, into positive affirmations. And she gives you a soundtrack for your life. So it's your voice being, recorded that you do for yourself. And then she puts it to this amazing music and helps you reframe things in your life so you can get a more positive mindset and have better results. And I hope that I spoke to that well. Megan, do you want to say hey and introduce yourself?
I do. Thank you so much. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, queen.
Awesome. I'm so grateful for your time. And Casey and I, our intention in this gathering is we geek out on how to elevate our lives, elevate our thinking. And so, which is one of the reasons why we quickly became soul sisters. And with my company, what I've done is I've made up-leveling your life more user-friendly. Which is what Activate Your Anthem is. Your anthem is your soundtrack of your life, of what matters most. And I wanted to make it fun and easy so that we weren't just looking at a Post-it note with an affirmation on it. We're actually embodying it. So Activate Your Anthem is designed to create a soundtrack of your life, but it's written by the wisdom of your heart. So our goal today is to take some of the common fears that we've been getting and help you flip the script on whatever your mental talk is. And Dr. Joe Dispenza is a man who's done so much work who I really admire, and he has done a lot of science on the brain And he has said that we think 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day, which is a lot. So let that sink in. And 90% of those thoughts are the same thoughts we thought yesterday. So if you believe, like we do, that your thoughts create your reality, your thoughts create your beliefs, which is how you see the world. And right now, it's really important to be mindful of how you see the world. And so we believe that we can all take an active role in shifting the way that we think to a more positive space, even if that's not what we're seeing on the news. And even if that's not what some of our family members are experiencing, we have control of ourselves. And we have control of our mindsets, which then controls our hormones, boosts our immune system. So our goal today is to help you empower your thinking and empower your life through some tips that I'm going to show you on how to flip the script on your thinking.
Woohoo! Super stoked. And for those of you guys who don't know me, my name's Casey Jade, and I am also the host and founder of Lady Problems, which is a platform to bring on amazing badass women to tell stories, not only for women. Thank you, Matt, for joining. Love you so much, brother. Thank you, Danny. Woohoo! Look at that mustache. Whoop, whoop. It's not just for women, it's for human beings who want to up-level their life and listen to amazing, powerful stories about hurdles that we've overcome and being really vulnerable and taking the mask off and helping each other and lifting each other up. So we're going to have amazing conversations in that space. And I thought, what a better way to get that started than going live with everybody and having more of a conversation versus just a podcast to where everybody is listening but not able to interact. So in this time where we have to practice social distance for a minute, welcome to the amazing interaction that we can all practice here. So Megan and I asked a few of our friends about some negative things that they were experiencing, and also have to turn off my notifications still because that is still happening. It is 1 o'clock. Yes, it is. Thank you, computer. Okay, so that should be on Do Not Disturb now. Sorry, guys. Learning as we go, and I appreciate all of you. So Megan, can you share with us about why it's so important to change from negative thoughts to positive thoughts and how that process actually looks and what we're going to be doing today with those fears and emotions?
Yes, absolutely. So I touched on before, our beliefs are basically the thoughts that we continue to think. And in this time, it's really important to know what we have control of, which is ourselves, our bodies. We don't have control of anything else outside of us, but our thoughts are incredibly powerful. The words that we use are incredibly powerful. And Casey and I also believe that there's a force that sees a bigger picture than we do, whether you call it God, whether you call it universe, whether you call it Mother Nature. We believe that there's a higher force that is always creating life for us, not to us. So we believe that that the universe has our back, essentially. And Einstein talked about this, and it's an important question to ask yourself. Do you believe that the universe has your back or not? And we're of the thought of yes, it does. Because everything feels better and life feels lighter when you're in a positive place. But we also want to acknowledge what's real. We don't want to take our fears and put them under the rug, because by not acknowledging our fears, they actually just amplify. And then that turns into anxiety, which affects your hormones and your body and, your relationships with everybody else. So what I'm going to show you today is a really simple way. It's the number one thing that I use in my coaching program to help people create a new empowering script. So if you have a piece of paper and a pen, go ahead and grab it, because this is a 3-step exercise. It's super simple. Then I'm going to walk you through the first one, and then we can take some fears and some concerns from you guys live and go through the process. But I like to use analogies because I'm a visual person, and it helps me remember the steps. And so I like to use the analogy of an apple. So you have a red apple, and on the outside is the red. And so red, I'm going to say, is the fear, the worry, the anxiety, the thoughts that are going on in your mind all the time that we just haven't learned how to process. We think about it, and then we do the dishes, and we think about it, and we know we need to figure it out at some point, but it's not comfortable. So we go into something else. We go into some kind of distraction, or we have to go into work. So the outside of the apple is the fear, a worst case scenario that's like running in your mind. So the middle of the apple is the meat of it. So that's the reality of the situation. which we're going to talk about. And then the core of it, the core of the apple is your soul's calling. It's what is actually true for you. And this is where the positivity is, because our souls are always guiding us and always navigating us, or you can call it intuition. It's always guiding us. It's always there. And the more we tune into it, the louder that volume gets on our intuition. So I'm going to take you through the 3 levels. So Casey, we had 3 people reach out to us ahead of time that we had talked about yesterday. Is there one in particular that you want to go through to start out as an example?
I think one of the most important ones that we should probably focus on, because I think a lot of people are feeling the same thing right now, is the uncertainty in the future and their job and what that might look like going forward and how they can reframe that. Is anybody on the call feeling that, or just having some uncertainty and some fears around that? Awesome. Perfect. So that'll be valuable for everybody.
So, so we're going to go through the 3 steps right now, which the first step is acknowledging what the fear is, because we want to look and see what it is. So the fear that was submitted to us was, I'm worried about what the job market will look like going forward, and is there going to be work for me? Very valid fear. And so again, I'm encouraging everybody to actually look at what it is, and if you can write it down, you'll have more focus when you write it down versus when you're just thinking it while doing the dishes or something else. So first step is to write down your fear as genuinely as you can. Don't try and sugarcoat it, write it down. The next step is to create an I wish statement, like what you wish was actually happening. So if the fear statement is, I'm worried about the job market, what it'll look like, is any work for me, what am I going to do, anxiety. So the wish statement could be, so it's basically what you would like to have happen. I would love it if I was able to secure, this was a performer that wrote this in, so I wrote the word gigs, but obviously calibrate it to your profession. I would love it if I was able to secure 3 gigs each month that pay me on the last day of the gig so that we don't have to wait for payment. And I'd like to work for some of my favorite companies that I've built a rapport with, and I'd like to work with some of my favorite people. I'm ready to work again and leave this fear in the past.
And Megan, what about if there are certain people who don't own their own businesses and don't do gigs or something? What if they are people who work for an employer or a corporation or things like that for that space?
Absolutely. So we're making a wish statement. So when you go back, this is when intentional living plays a huge role. So when you go back, ideally, what would you like to see? So if you work in the hotel, if you're working for Caesars, when you go back to doing your role, I would like to have everybody be excited to be back to work because we've been off for a while and we're actually ready to work, and I'm ready to have a routine again. I'm ready. So you're going to say everything that you are wanting or looking forward to. Does that make sense? So step 3 is now when you get to the core of the apple, which is your intuition writing the script for you. So the third version of this could be, well, actually, before I read that, the third part, what you want it to be is you want to write it as though it's present tense. So what we're doing with this third part, which is so important, is we're imagining that it's your present reality right now. So it's not something that's going to happen. It's something that's happening now. So we want it to be present. We want it to be positive. We want it to be believable.
Do you need to go outside?
So an idea of what this, the third step of this could be is, I am so thrilled and grateful that I've already booked so many gigs. I feel relieved. Feeling statements are really powerful here. I feel relieved that the entertainment industry is coming back to life, and we as performers can come back to our community and bring joy to our audiences again. So and ideally you want to make this statement pretty long, because you want to create a rampage of appreciation of what's going to be. But you're writing it as a current tense, so as though it's happening right now, because you want your mind, mainly your subconscious mind, to start focusing on what you want. And again, this is where it's important that it feels believable. So if it doesn't feel believable to you, then we need to dial it back so that it does. And we can go through this live to kind of give an example of what that is. But a common analogy is, if money mindset is a problem, we don't want to create a statement that says, I believe I'm going to be a millionaire next week, because no, you're not, because you don't believe it. And so
Okay.
energetically, yeah, huge gap. So instead, we want to use statements like, I'm willing. I'm allowing my money mindset to change. I am willing to allow more abundance into my life. And it's okay that I don't know how that's going to show up, but I'm willing to be aware. I'm going to open my radar to opportunities that I might not have been aware of before. Or I'm willing to allow. And so this way, it's a more comfortable, gradual statement to up level your belief system instead of setting a hard goal that doesn't feel believable.
Does anybody need help with their statement on this negative emotion or fear? Does anybody need help wording theirs? Because Megan is bomb at that. She helped me word a ton of mine yesterday, and she's like a human thesaurus. So please don't feel afraid to volunteer. You're in a safe space. We all love you, and we're all feeling the same thing. So if you need help, please let us know.
Yeah, it's easier for me to work and hear the words that you use, because that way I can guide you into what resonates for you versus something that I've already written. But so if anybody feels brave enough to raise your hand and just throw out a concern or a fear, it doesn't have to be your deep, darkest fear. It can be something that feels comfortable sharing here. And that way we can talk through the process. Alicia, hey sister.
Oh,
Do you feel comfortable sharing?
sure. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Kind of, yes.
All right. Awesome. So my fear is, will I make the right choice with this new job?
Okay. So when you say this is perfect, and thank you for sharing. So will you make the right choice with this job? So can you briefly unpack that for where are you at with this?
Sure.
Unpack it a little bit so that we can know a little
Sure.
bit more of how you're feeling about it.
I started after 17 years with a previous company. I started a new job 2 years ago in the technology market. And it was very difficult to make that switch. And there was lots of times that I thought that I made the biggest mistake ever making this career change. In the end, I was successful the first year, and the second year pretty good too. And I'm actually kind of into a good groove. Still don't really like technology. And about 3 weeks ago, I had a recruiter call me, and basically it's with a company that really speaks to my heart. I love the product that I'd be selling, the people I'd be meeting. There's a lot of really good positives, but I'm afraid I'm going to make the wrong choice. And I'm going to end up in that same place where I was 2 years and 3 months ago of, oh my God, what did I do? I shouldn't have left the job that I had. I should have stayed.
Right. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So let me say this back to you and let me know if I'm on point or not. So you're in a career right now that you're making work, but your heart's not in it. It doesn't sound like, but you have an opportunity to go into something that does resonate with you, but it's scary because it's unknown. You'd have to be changing careers again. And so there's that learning curve.
Yes.
Does that sound accurate?
That sounds accurate.
Okay, cool. So what would you say your feeling fear is? Like, what's the thing that you're most afraid of? You said failure at the beginning. You're afraid of failure.
Yes. Failure.
Okay.
And putting myself in a situation and my family in a situation where I am not secure.
Got it. So we're going to use our little apple analogy here. So knowing that your fear statement could sound something like what we've said. I'm concerned that I'm going into this new career. I don't know what the best decision is for me, and I want to have a good conscience when I make this decision. So what would your wish statement be? How would you ideally like to feel about this decision-making process?
I would love it if this new job exceeded my expectations.
Okay, tell me more.
Um,
What else are you looking forward to with this job?
I'm looking forward to, sorry if there's tech people out there. I'm looking forward to working with non-tech people who are just like friendly and real and
Yeah.
and are excited to talk to me about something that's important to them and to me. I'm excited to have people return my phone call to be able to engage with them.
Yes.
Caveat, not all tech people are the opposite of that. Just the ones I seem to get.
This is true. And there's no judgment because this is your reality. So the thing that she pointed out, which is another statement that can, or another aspect that can help you create your wish statement, is sometimes it's easier to list the things that you're sick and tired of because those are usually pretty easy to access. So if you're having trouble creating a wish statement, write down everything that you're tired of. So hypothetically for Alicia, it could be, I'm tired of in an industry where I'm having to push my success and push myself instead of letting it be easy. I'm tired of dealing with tech people that I can't relate to. I'm tired of A, B, C, and just do a laundry list and really let your mind go and just open the floodgates of everything that you're sick and tired of. And it's actually therapeutic, again, to write this out because now it's out of you. It's not in your mind anymore. So next, from there, you can flip the script. So from there, instead of saying, I'm sick and tired of working with tech people, the new clarity statement could be, I wish I worked with people that are open-minded and love. Alicia, what's the industry that you're moving into, ideally?
Leadership, we'll call it leadership coaching.
Leadership coaching. Okay, cool. So I'm looking forward to working with people who are bringing new creative ideas in the leadership coaching world. And so one by one, you can take each of your contrast statements or your I'm sick and tired of statements and then do a 180 on it. And so that's a good way to start to create your clarity list. And so you create wish statements. I wish that this was the case. I wish that I had a sign or an intuition that this was the best move for me. I wish I had confirmation that making this move is going to be the best investment for myself and my family. And most importantly, that your energy and your gifts that are innately in you, that they can shine in this new workplace. All of us have gifts and talent. And if anything, when unique situations like this happen, it's usually a call for all of us to step up to our gifts and shine them and use them. And because we all have a lot of them, you don't have just one. You have your intuition, your gifts, whatever you secretly love. It's probably time for some of that to start coming forward more because there's a reason that has been programmed into your heart. So Alicia, the third statement of this, or the third part of the app, is the core, and that is creating positive, believable, present tense statements. So what would a present, let's say that everything has worked out ideally for you and you're living in a new space of clarity, of positivity and excitement because what you've wanted is panned out. What would a few sentences sound like as you're living your reality, your ideal reality right now?
Sure. The training spoke to my heart and soul. Existing clients are thrilled with the results and they are happy to give me referrals. There's a lot of different words, but I'm happy, I'm relieved that I made this choice to change careers.
Yes. So Alicia used a lot of I am statements, which are awesome, and feeling statements. I feel happy, I feel relieved. These are all higher vibrational words. So emotions have a vibrational scale. Love and hope and joy are all very high vibrational. You actually feel physically light in your body. Whereas fear, scarcity, depression, anxiety, these are all lower, and you can physically feel it usually in your gut of where your vibration is. And so she's using very high vibrational, high energy words. And so what I would ask Alicia to do now is to basically do a stream of consciousness for herself on what her new reality looks like. So now she has created a new structure for her thoughts. And so what I recommend is writing them all out. And yes, you can read them every day and put them on your mirror. I dare you to take it a step further. This is what we do in Anthem, and make an audio track out of it. Take your phone, go to voice memo, read your script into your phone, create a track for yourself. That's what Activate Your Anthem does. And you can put music to it if you want, but then listen to it every single day. Because the caveat that's really important to this is you can listen to it first thing when you wake up. You can listen to it when you're driving to work, or if you're working out in your living room. The cool thing about this, when you record it yourself, your subconscious mind knows your voice. So it's different than listening to Oprah. It's different than listening to Tony Robbins. Your subconscious mind knows your voice and trusts whatever you're saying. So if you want to reprogram your thoughts, which is why we're here today, this is a really impactful and powerful way to do it. And if you can listen to your audio track every single day, they say, science says 21 days to create a new habit. So you create a new thought pattern. And then that thought pattern that you continue to think creates a belief. And then that belief that you continue to put energy into becomes a pattern and a way of being, and it totally forms your perspective and how you see the world. And you're coming from a more empowered state that is positive, and that's going to positively affect everyone in your life, everyone that you come into contact with, and is going to boost your immune system because you're in an empowered state.
I'm so glad that you hit on that, because I was just we had this conversation yesterday, and I asked that same exact question about why it's so important to have it be your voice and how much more impactful that is. Because I know that for somebody who's just getting into really reframing their thoughts, a lot of people go to YouTube, listen to videos, which can really help you start on that journey. But as soon as Megan said, you can get it into your voice, your subconscious is going to react a lot more quickly to that because it knows your voice. So that's amazing. Alicia, do you feel better with a little bit of those statements now that you have better verbiage and everything on how to reframe that?
Yeah, definitely. I look back to what my fear was, and then I jump down the page to my new statement, and definitely feel more confident.
Yay. Does anybody else resonate with the fear that Alicia was going through? Does anybody else want to share one that resonated with them, that they wrote down and went through that process that Megan just did with them, and kind of just give like the contrasting statement versus what their third, the positive affirmation now is? Anybody want to be brave? Yeah, Ava, my girl. Hold on, I'll mute you. There you are.
Well, thank you. That was amazing. Actually, I've done. Thank you so much for having me. First of all, I've read a lot about it. I've done a lot of that rewiring of the brain, and Joe Dispenza talks a lot about it and how to do it. And that's one thing I have never thought about, but it's so powerful and so genius. Recording yourself, especially just thought crossed my mind, especially when you are vibing high and when you're feeling all these feelings. This is a good time to capture. A lot of times we want to bottle up this emotion and we don't know how, because we're like, we've been there, but we've seen it. Where is it? And then the day that you're depressed and glum, like everything is dark, everything is a dead end, you're like, but I was there. Where is it? So that's a great technique, actually, to record your thoughts and your thought process and whatever it is, because writing down even doesn't do it. When you voice it down, like that vibration comes through the voice. Even videotaping would be even better. And then like literally watch yourself. Hi.
That's awesome. Yeah, who vibes with that? Who like on dark days is like, how can I get back to where I just was like a week ago? See, there you go, exactly. Yep. So that's perfect. Awesome. Is everybody good with moving on to the next limiting belief or negative emotion or fear, or do we want to stay on this one? Are we good with moving on? Everybody raise your hands. Good with moving on? Anybody who doesn't raise their hands, I think you guys are going to want to stay here. Shosh. She's like, what? All right, good. So I think we can move on, Megan. Was there one that was one of your favorites that you wanted to hit on, or?
Yeah, there was one that, again, I feel like we can, there's one I do want to talk about, another one before we end, but there was one that was basically about feeling cooped up and getting restless with, oh, here we go. So we got this ahead of time. So and we just, he just sent in his fear, and it's that I'm frustrated with this monotony of having unstructured days at home, and I'm driving my partner crazy, and I want my sanity back. So sure,
relate?
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
So again, so that's the fear. So the fear is that I'm going stir crazy. I think a lot of us can relate to this. I don't really need to unpack this one. So moving in one layer into the apple, making this an I wish statement. So it could be, and I'm speculating here because he sent me the fear, but I didn't get a chance to talk to him yet. But I'm assuming here that the I wish statement could be, I wish I had my own space and time to do what I want to do and actually be productive. I feel more energized when I'm productive. I originally enjoyed the time off because I haven't had any, but now I'm getting really anxious at not doing anything. And so I wish I had more structure in my days. So I'm actually hearing this from a lot of people. And the irony that when we do structure our days, when we give ourselves permission to do 2 hours of whatever we want, we actually feel free to do that. And sometimes we get really excited. I know personally, I get really excited when I have nothing to do, but then I think I'm going to accomplish the 25 things that I've been meaning to do in that time. And I immediately get overwhelmed, and I've been awake for 5 minutes, and I just crash and end up on the couch watching TV or something. So I get overwhelmed and I don't do anything, is what I've done in the past. So I recommend that if you, that trying out some structure and day, we do feel more energized. Whoops. Can you guys still hear me? We do feel more energized when we have structure. And that way, when you give yourself permission to do whatever you're wanting for the afternoon, you don't feel guilty having that time. So I created the positive present tense believable statement could be, I'm proud of myself for putting a daily schedule together that I'm committed to. I'm treating this downtime as an opportunity to try different schedules to see which one fits me the best. I've shared my intentions and my goals with my partner so that we're on the same page, and she's supportive of my lab work while I figure out what schedule works best for me. I'm excited to listen to my intuition and my body every day and let these guide me to a productive day, taking it one day at a time. I look forward to seeing all of the growth and productivity that I learn about myself that's coming my way. And I have full control over myself and my outlook every day. And I choose for it to be positive, even though I don't know what that structure exactly looks like yet. So this is giving yourself permission to use this time to try something different every day. I recommend the night before always planning out your day. And again, as long as, like for me, as long as there's 3 things that I'm doing, then I feel productive. And that's just me personally. So use this time as your lab to see what resonates with you, to see what, if you have a really structured day, or if you're a morning person like I am, like wake up early, which has been a bit of a struggle because nobody's waiting on me. So, but wake up early. And this is a time to really commit to ourselves. We have a blank canvas right now to create the lives that we want. And so let's make the most of it before we get back into a good space, which is the world moving again. But use this place as a lab. What's coming up for you right now, you know, with your soul, with your intuition? Like, is there anything that you've been wanting to incorporate into your days that you haven't made a priority yet? And are you willing to try that? Are you willing to commit to trying something? And I see some heads nodding. So is there anybody that's willing to share something that's been coming up for them that they haven't fully committed to yet or tried yet? Ava.
So I've been playing with that too. And me being like the least consistent person on this planet, it's very hard, right? So I'll start a routine like I used to start at 5 a.m., go to yoga 6 a.m. By 7:30, showered ready, you know, I get my son ready to school, go to work. And with great effort, I actually made that a routine, which lasted a few months, and then it dropped. So I go through these phases. Then one day a thought came to mind, and I started during this quarantine process, and I said, hey, why not entertain it? And the thought was that sometimes we're very rigid in putting ourselves into structures, right? So like, I'll write out this great plan, I'll channel it out, like, you know, like exactly by minute what I need to do. And it's exciting and thrilling for a few days. And then it's no longer that exciting anymore. And like you said, my body just wants to read today, and my entire essence resents doing the things on my list, right? So I started experimenting during this time, that giving myself that permission to actually asking myself, what is it that I want to do today? And trusting myself that if I made that a priority, or if I made a particular task a task to be done, that I will get to it when it's divine time, right? So it may not be today because it's on schedule, but it will definitely get done. And trying not to control the how. And so if I feel like today is I'm feeling very inspired, but I had a self-care day, I'll go ahead and work. And some days where I have this list of laundry lists to do, but I really feel like just hermiting and reading a book, I'll give myself permission to that. So that also has a fine line, like you probably imagine. So it's all that comes down to that fine balance of not losing yourself in the process, I guess. I haven't quite honed it down to a T, but giving yourself permission and trusting that you will not fail yourself, I think was one key that I actually learned during this few weeks. Do you have any thoughts on that, Megan?
I love it. I love everything that you just said. And you're right. You touched on a really important point, which is our intuition is going to guide us into what's best for us. And yes, we can have, like you said, we can have an idea of what we want for the day to bring and what we want to accomplish. But the magic is really in tuning into what your body wants. Because Casey and I were just talking about this yesterday. Like, you know, we're working on our websites. We're doing a lot of mental, technical stuff. And then we realize, we tune in, like, you know what, my body needs to move right now. I'm going to go online and do a yoga class. I'm going to walk around. I'm going to walk the dog now. I'm going to just be physical and breathe. And the more you tune into your body, Ava, has this been your experience, that the more you tune in, the better you feel? And have you noticed that you can tap into your intuition a little faster?
I can. I'm still struggling a little bit with that overachiever guilt, but I'm working through it, right? Because I'm a recovering perfectionist. So I'm trying to not judge. So I trust, and then, you know, sometimes the feeling of guilty will creep in, right? But I have so much stuff I need to get done, you know? And then this other part is like, no, brakes on, we're not doing anything. So it's a fine balance, and I guess working through it to get finally to the complete relax and at peace state, like complete trust in divine, not trying to control any of it, and just trust that when you wake up, you already know exactly what you need to do.
Yes, no, and totally, because like perfection is the enemy of progress, right? So like if we were going after perfection, here's a great example for today in our process, right? We thought we were going to be able to go live on Facebook with a split screen, and then we had to pivot last minute. So thank you guys so much for allowing us to work on this live and to figure out technical issues. And that's just a huge thing. You know, we could have failed, given up, said, hey, we'll figure this out later. But no, we figured out how to get here so we could have this amazing, important conversation. And I have been such a victim of perfection before putting anything out. And if you want something to be perfect, you're not going to get it to the millions of people that could possibly benefit from it, because you're going to just not put it out. And it not being out is way worse than it being out and not being perfect. So I love that, Ava. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
And Ava,
sorry, Meg, go ahead.
Real quick, Ava, I want to offer you a friendly challenge of to do this process that we talked about today, since you said that you have that guilt that is a perfect example of something to do this process with. Write out what your what your guilty is, like my guilt is blah blah blah. Write that out, and then write a wish statement, and then write a present tense, because if this is coming up daily for you, this is a perfect time to transform and flip the script on your thinking, so that instead of being stuck in guilt and then going on to the next thing, you're now going to process it. So I'm really glad that you shared that, because that's exactly a good time to use this. And then, like you said, record it, and that can be your new productivity. And that way you're moving the needle on your belief, and you're moving out of guilt, because guilt doesn't serve anybody.
Nope. And Ava, that was totally one of mine that Megan walked me through too. So like, you're not alone in that, girlfriend. And one thing that I wanted to touch on that you had said a little bit of, Megan, is that when you're writing these statements, when you come to that reframing, if any of the words feel clunky, if any of the words don't resonate with you, make sure to find a word that feels light for you, because that's really important. You don't want anything that feels like you don't believe that statement or just a little bit off. You really want to perfect these statements so you resonate as much as you possibly can. And there's no doubt in your mind that you have the ability to feel that way. And the second thing on that is also, when you're reframing these, don't feel bad if you're going on and on and on, because the more that you have, the longer your script on this, the better. Right, Megan?
Yes, exactly. Ideally, and you'll probably experience this, but once you open the floodgates, like on step 1, writing what your fear is, writing what you're tired of, and this doesn't have to be about one thing. If you have the time today, if you can just today write down the whatever's been in your mind that you are tired of, or that you have fear or anxiety, whatever's in your mind today that you're ready to process and transition into something else, write all of that down. It usually lands in 3 categories, which are your opinions of yourself, your opinions of your job or your career, and your relationships. And so just give yourself permission just to brain drain and just stream of consciousness, write it all down. And then one by one, create the I wish statement of what you wish it would be. What's the 180 of that, and where would you like for it to be? And then write that into a present tense statement that is positive and believable. And I'm writing this in the chat box right now as well. Somebody asked for the steps.
Perfect. Awesome. Perfect. Well, I know that I don't want to keep you guys on here really longer than an hour, but Megan does this, and she's amazing at it, and she will have you go walk through everything, and you can be vulnerable with her, not in a chat room with a billion people. And I did this with her yesterday, and we were on the phone for a while, and I felt amazing after I got to walk through my emotions with her and really what I was feeling, why I was feeling it, and how I could reframe that. So I'm super excited for Megan to be able to offer something to everybody on this call at a discounted rate. So that's amazing. Megan, would you please go into a little bit of your offer so that people can enjoy this even deeper?
Yeah, absolutely. So activateyouranthem.com is my website. And what it is, the program is meant to be quick and efficient. This is not we're going to have a 1-hour coaching call every week. I think that model is boring. I've done it before. I want quick results, and I have a short attention span, and I love creativity. So the program is like Casey and I started. So I wanted to create something different. I basically created something that I wish already existed, and I used the program on myself for 2 years and saw a lot of growth. And so then started sharing it with everybody else. But what it is basically we have a 2-hour call where we go through these steps. We write down all of your contrast. We create a clarity paragraph, like I call it your script. And then from there, you have a little bit of homework to do to build on your script. And then you record it. I have music on my website that's instrumental and uplifting for you to listen to. And the program is that you listen to your script for 21 days. And halfway through the program, I touch base with you. Where are you at? How are you doing? And then at the very end, we touch base and see what you've noticed. And it's been pretty cool to see what happens to unfold for people, what their intentions are. And it's just so happened. It's cool to see the patterns and the people that are showing up. But usually everybody's been in one career for a while, and 90% of them just happen to be like, you know what, I really feel called to do this and I'm passionate about it, but I'm scared because that looks very different from what I've been doing. And this job is very safe and it pays my bills and I like the structure, but I'm not thriving. I'm just showing up and I'm ready to do more. And usually that's where people are. And so if that resonates with you, like this could be divine timing for you. And again, this is something for you to listen to that's customized to you. I used to go on YouTube and try and find Tony Robbins and Oprah talks that would make me feel better. But when it's customized to you and meets you where you at, it's the best tool to move the needle, and it's completely customized to you. So usually the program's $250. I'm doing it for $98 for friends and family, which you all are. And so, so please feel free to hit up Casey or hit up me. Again, my website or my email is megan@activateyouranthem.com. And I'm happy to answer any questions with you, even if you just want a discovery call to ask me questions to see if this is a good fit. If you're ready to move the needle, this is a good fit. If you're happy where you are, or if you like drama, or if you like that kind of energy, we are not a good match. So, but I know you all showed up today for a reason, and because you love Casey Jade and because you know the energy and the vision that she has, and you're here to share in that. And so I just want to thank you so much for showing up with your time and showing up with your energy. And yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free. I'll put my email in the chat box here, and we'll put it on Facebook as well. And I look forward to connecting with you guys. Casey, thank you so much for holding space for all of us and allowing this connection.
Absolutely. Did everybody find that valuable? Does anybody have any questions for Megan before we finish up this call. Anybody have any questions? Raise your hand. Thank you so much, Megan. We appreciate you. This is going to be an ongoing series of lives. Oh, sorry, Dana. What do you need? Sorry, one. Whoop, got you. You're unmuted.
I was just saying thank you.
Yay. See? Thank
Yay,
you, Dana.
thank you.
This is going to be an ongoing series of lives as well as a podcast when it comes out, when I get them edited, which I am in the process of. So I will continue to bring you amazing conversations on lady problems, because I think that this is just the best time for us to really connect over issues that we can all agree that we are going through together. And if we support each other, then we can just live our best lives and help each other get to the places that we all want to go. So I'm super excited to bring more amazing, badass people in all walks of life to you guys on these calls. And if anybody has a suggestion about what they would like to learn or somebody that they would like to hear from, please let me know. I am so blessed to have so many of you amazing beauties in my life, and I really appreciate the support. And thank you so much for being here for this conversation. Megan, you're amazing. I'm so happy that we got to do our first live together and that we walked through this together. Yeah, so we look forward to more amazing conversations, and I hope you guys have a brilliant rest of your day and you guys go get some sunshine. It's important to go out, even if it's on a porch or a backyard, get some vitamin D, some sunshine in your life. It'll wake you up, make you feel better. Look at the people who are living in Seattle. It's cloudy all the time. It's seasonal anxiety disorder. That's the reason the acronym is SAD. Okay, get out and get some sun. It'll make you feel better. And then go do your list, just like Megan said. All right, guys, thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Distance hugs. Yay. Bye, guys.
Yay.
Distance hugs.
Bye, y'all. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you.